Well, hello again. Welcome back. Didn't think I'd be doing this at midnight on Friday night, but here I am with devastating news. It could be, but it could be a time for triumph if the government are willing to act. Unfortunately, it is the government that's been instrumental in causing a lot of these problems because of their insistence on green energy, on removing carbon gas out of the atmosphere, and it's made it impossible for certain businesses to continue. And one of them is British Steel, which I reported on, and you've shown a great interest in my report. So this is the latest news, and I've only just got it. So I'll share it with you. Yeah, Britain's last blast furnaces are days away from closure after the Chinese owners, Jingi, cancelled crucial raw material orders for the Scunthorpe site. Union representatives report that Jingi was cut off future orders for iron ore, or coal, and other essential materials needed to keep the furnaces operational. The move threatens to seal the fate of UK's final domestic sources of virgin steel, which could now shut down as early as next month. It was June, there was thinking of closing, now it could be May. The Department of Business and Trade is actively considering nationalisation as time runs out for the historic steelworks. The closure timeline has accelerated beyond initial projections and created urgent pressure for government intervention. Officials now working against the clock to secure the future of steelmaking at Scunthorpe, as Britain simultaneously contends with transatlantic trade tensions. The fate of these blast furnaces will likely be determined in days. While nationalisation is being considered, government officials are remaining wary of tackling such radical steps, as they put it. There are concerns about leaving taxpayers exposed to potentially loss-making business for the long term. See, they're saying to Jingi, which is Chinese owned, as I've said before, they're saying to Jingi, well, keep it going. They're losing £70,000 a day. And they've been told that your coal-fired and coke-fired furnaces have got to be changed to electric ones. It will cost £1 million to do so. They only bought the company in 2020, so they've only had it for 4 years. And it's been losing £70,000 a day. But the government said, oh, now we're making a bigger deal because we're going to say you can't have coal and coke fired. You've got to have electric because it will reduce the carbon output, the carbon gases in the atmosphere. India, China are the biggest, and all the eastern countries are the biggest polluters with carbon in the world. Britain is just 0.02, I think it is, of our emissions. Nothing, and they want to reduce it again. And it will put thousands out of work. I'll tell you about the figures later because I have got them. Anyway, so negotiations between the government and Jingi collapsed last week after the Chinese company rejected the £500 million public funded offer because it was only half of what they need. And if you're already losing 70,000 a day, you do not want to have to pay another 500 million, to on top of that, you're losing, and so you plug in 500 million so you can go electric. Government nonsense. The money was intended to replace the existing furnaces with electric arc furnaces, which produce significantly lower carbon emissions. Therefore, it is a problem of the British government's obsession with green energy and carbon elimination, the carbon-free illusion. Jingi, which purchased British Steel in 2020, which I mentioned earlier, have said 500 million is is insufficient when it will cost double that amount. The company announced last week it was consulting on closure dates for both the blast furnaces and the attached steelworks. The closure would have significant strategic implications for UK's infrastructure projects. British Steel is the primary supplier of steel rails for Network Rail. Will it mean our trains would stop? That's commuters every day going to work on the train, and there could be stoppages. The company also specialises in specialised construction steels, available from only a few manufacturing sites worldwide. Construction, large skyscrapers. Without domestic production, the UK would be increasingly dependent on imports for critical infrastructure. This heightens reliance on foreign steel suppliers, coming at a time when global supply chains are facing growing uncertainty. To let their British Steel go will plunge Britain, UK, into a total uncertain world. It's ridiculous. The potential loss of sovereign steel-making capabilities raises concerns about national resilience in key industrial sectors. Gareth Stace, he's the head of UK Steel, has issued an urgent appeal to the government to resume negotiations. He said talks seem to have broken down between government and British Steel. My advice to the government is, please, Jonathan Reynolds, Business Secretary, get back round the negotiating table and thrash out a deal. He warned that failure to reach an agreement quickly could have devastating consequences. He explained, if a deal can't be found in the next few days, then I fear for the very future of the sector, but also here in Scunthorpe Steelworks. Reforms UK's Richard Tice, he's the deputy leader, isn't he, has branded British Steel's potential closure of 2 blast furnaces at Scunthorpe as absolutely bonkers, calling for immediate government intervention. British Steel announced on Thursday it will consult on potential closure for its 2 blast furnaces and steelmaking operations in Scunthorpe. He described the situation not as negative, but as an opportunity for Britain to secure its strategic steel manufacturing capabilities. This is an opportunity, he went on to say. What should happen is the government should take British Steel into public ownership, invest in refurbishing the 2 blast furnaces, which are the last 2 blast furnaces we've got in this country. So once they're closed, we have no blast furnaces in this country. This is how the governments, Conservative governments and now the Labour government, have run down our industry. It is frightening. It's like at the moment they use coal in these blast furnaces, but Margaret Thatcher closed all the mines down in Britain, the coal mines down in Britain. They're flooded. So we have to import the coal. That would reduce carbon because bring it in from America, all that distance in ships, all that fumes from the ships in the air, so that we don't get it in Britain. It's nonsense thinking, isn't it? It's nonsense thinking. Anyway, let's carry on with this. That will bring down some. So we'll have no blast furnaces. That will bring down the operating costs if they nationalised it, and then use the long-term procurement opportunities for the public sector and the British industry, and for our defence industry. Because how are we going to defend ourselves if we don't have any steel? Think about it. The closure of these 2 blast furnaces and steel-making operations in Scunthorpe risk putting, I told you I'd give you these figures, between 2,000 and 2,700 jobs at risk. If they close them, the jobs will not be at risk. They'll be gone. And there'll be 2,700 people on the dole. They'll be claiming benefits. So not only will there be no money coming in from the British Steel and sales, but those workers will need benefits. and they're not going to get as much as they've been getting with wages, and so they'll be claiming supplements, and there's going to be a lot of poverty, and they're going to lose 2,700 votes. That should affect the government. In Scunthorpe, they could lose it. So just a quick one that was, because I was going to bed actually. It's now 12:15 at night. So just thought I'd keep you up to date with what's going on with British Steel. So until the next time, be good, be safe, and goodbye from me. Goodbye, David.